Welcome back to another episode of Soul Survivor. I'm Pastor Marshall. Today I'd like to talk to you about water and its importance in a survival situation. If you can regulate your temperature, if you can either stay warm when it's cold outside or stay cool if it's really, really hot, and if you have plenty of water, your chances of survival are going to go up dramatically. You can last probably longer than you think without food, but you can't do that without water. You're going to need water within 3 days. So I'd encourage you when you're out backpacking or hiking, even if that's just a day hike, to take enough water with you for that time. But you may not be able to take enough water for an extended situation, whether that be a long-term backpack trip, maybe a week or 2-week backpack trip, or whether you're out hiking on just a day trip and all of a sudden you need to stay because someone's hurt or because you're hurt or because of a weather condition. So there's a couple things I'd encourage you to have with you when you're out hiking. When I'm out hiking, and this is just my little day pack here, I try to bring something like this. I don't always bring this exact setup with me, but it's a canteen, just as a military canteen. It doesn't need to be military, but the reason I like this is it has the canteen cup, and this is a stainless steel cup. It's very durable, pretty bomb-proof. And the reason I bring it along is that allows me to boil water. So I have water with me for the more than I would need for the hike. But if I needed to stay or someone else needed water, I can boil water if there's a water source nearby. And I would also bring along this little stove. It's called a pocket rocket. I'll just turn it on here for a second, find my lighter. It's not going to want to light here. There we go. So with the pocket rocket and some kind of a steel or titanium or aluminum canister of some kind, I'm able to boil water and to increase my survivability in the wilderness. You could also do that with a fire. I just find that the stove is really easy to have along, and there are often places where I like to hike where I can't have a fire, where it's not either safe or it's not advised to have a fire by the individuals who are managing that property. Another thing, if you're looking for a lighter option, pull them out of my pocket right here. These are some iodine tablets, and right here, you look at how much water you have, and it'll tell you right here on the back how many tablets you need to put in the water, and you're going to wait about 30 minutes before you can drink that water. Iodine is going to make your water look kind of like lemonade. It's going to make it a little bit yellow and give it kind of a strange taste. So I like to bring along these neutralizer tablets here in the yellow bottle. You can pick these up at more sporting goods or outdoor stores. I think I bought these at Walmart many years ago. And you're going to put these in for 30 minutes and then let the water sit for a while, and then you're going to drop these neutralization tablets in. They'll take away some of the color and some of the taste. Another great option if you're going to go for a long period, like a week-long backpack trip, you're not going to be able to carry enough water that you're going to need for drinking and for preparing your food. So you're going to need some kind of a filtration system. And MSR makes a lot of great products that allow you to filter water. They have, whether you're using a charcoal filter or a ceramic filter, there's lots of other companies that make really good products. I'd encourage you to go to REI, just Google that and look at their water filtration systems. There's lots of great options there. So those would kind of be being able to boil your water and run it through some kind of a filter, to me, would make me feel most secure about that water. Boiling's a great option, filtering's a great option, but when you combine them, your chances of not getting sick go up dramatically, and it's just a little extra protection. Now, you may have all these things, but if you can't find water, so you might have your stove, you might have your pot or your pan or your canteen cup with you, you might have your iodine tablets, but if you can't find water, that's a big problem. So you're going to want to have looked at the area you're going to be hiking in. Maybe have a map with you and know some of the locations where you can find water. It's also a good idea to just kind of familiarize yourself with the area that you're going to be hiking in, and I'd encourage you to do that. Following areas, drainages that point down, looking for areas that are green. If it's in the summer and you see an area that's green, you're going to know that there's going to be water there. Those plants are getting moisture from somewhere. So following those kinds of areas down, drainages, looking for even puddles and depressions. Maybe you can find an area that's the ground is kind of wet and moist, but there's not standing water. You may need to dig until you find that, and then you'd be able to collect that water and drain out maybe some of the silt and the sediment, and put those iodine tablets or run it through your filtration system, or even boil it. In the Bible, in John chapter 4, we find the story of what's commonly called the woman at the well. And this is a Samaritan woman, and Jesus and his disciples are coming through, they're traveling through, and Jesus rests at the well, but he doesn't have a rope, and he doesn't have a container to lower down in and get water out of the well. So he waits, and his other disciples, they go into town to look for food into Samaria. And as they're waiting, a lady comes out to draw water at the well, and Jesus asks her for a drink, and she's surprised because Jews and Samaritans didn't get along. They don't associate with one another. Jews viewed the Samaritans as half-breeds, as individuals that were part Jewish and part non-Jew, and so they felt that they were better than them. And that created a lot of tension, as you can imagine. The Samaritans did not appreciate that view, and there had been many battles and fights over the years between Jews and Samaritans. So the woman was really surprised that Jesus, a Jewish man, would ask her for a drink of water. But Jesus does, and she gives him a drink. But Jesus responds to her when she says, "Why are you asking me for a drink?" He says, "If you knew who I am, if you knew who it was that was asking you for a drink, you would have asked him for a drink." And he talks about giving this woman living water, and she's excited about that because she's having to travel a long distance to get water every day, and this idea of living water is exciting to her. And Jesus is talking not about water that we drink that takes care of our physical needs, but our spiritual and emotional needs. That's the kind of water that Jesus is talking about. And in the process of this conversation with this woman, her heart is touched, and she goes back to her town, and she brings people, and they talk to Jesus, and many individuals are converted, and they believe in Jesus. In this world that we live in, there are many thirsty people. Maybe you're one of those people. You're thirsty spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally. And the world offers us this beautiful, wonderful world we live in. Because sin has entered it, the world offers us all kinds of things that it promises will slack our thirst. If you just experiment with this, if you just put this in your body, if you just chase after that relationship or another relationship, if you just allow yourself to experiment with any number of things, the world says you'll find true happiness. You'll find true happiness if you just marry the right person, or if you spend time with the right person, or if you have the right job, or if you have the right set of friends. But oftentimes when you engage in the activities like drinking, like promiscuous relationships, you find some meaning there in those relationships as they begin. You find some meaning in the substances which allow you to forget the problems in your lives. But at the end of that, you're left more thirsty, more hungry, more tired, and you don't know what to do. Today, I'd like to encourage you, if you haven't already, to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, to invite him into your life, to proclaim him as your God and as your King. You could do that simply by praying, "Dear Heavenly Father, I'd like to give my life to you. I would like to accept the life and the death and the resurrection as Jesus Christ as payment for my sins. I want to confess my sins and ask forgiveness and for the strength to live in the light and power and grace of your love. And I want to allow Jesus Christ to be the Lord and Savior of my life." And when you pray a prayer like that, God enters your life, and he empowers you, enables you, and works in your life. And I think you will find, as I have found, that the thirstiness in your life goes away. That Jesus offers you living water, eternal water that springs up and gives you life. Thank you so much for joining us for another Soul Survivor video. I would encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have many other videos there and many more videos that are going to be produced in the future. Thank you so much for your views and your subscriptions. I hope you have a nice day.